Hi everybody, welcome back to Claiborne. Welcome to the inside of my cabin where I'm chilling. It's not quite 10 o'clock at night and it's my second day off from work. I just wanted to give you all a little bit of an update of my little work situation. It's completely resolved, and you guys, I kind of have to give myself a pat on the back. My kudos to me, because I was desperate. I was really desperate to figure out what to do. I had to have the job, and I definitely wasn't getting along with a couple of coworkers. And so what I decided to do was very cliche, but divide and conquer. And that's what I did. I just divided and conquered. So I treated the two completely separate. And the other thing I did was I schmoozed a manager, and I've never done that before in my life either. I've never had to. And I gotta say, I was kind of good at it, surprisingly, because I'm desperate to keep the job. So my family's livelihood depends on this little rinky-dink job, and I had to do something. And so I kept reading through my oracle cards, and I kept looking for an answer, and I kept, walking around outside asking Spirit to guide me. And it finally just came to me to divide and conquer, and then treat each woman as an individual. One I schmoozed. We're so totally cool now. The other one I completely avoid. I just totally ghost her. And my whole thought process is the woman doesn't like the way I talk to her. So stop talking to me, right? I mean, that sounds awful, but it's like, stop seeking me out to talk to me. If you don't like the way I talk to you, then stop trying to start conversation with me. Stop saying something to me every time I walk by you. I didn't get the whole problem that we had, because we don't even work together. We don't even work on the same side of the store or anything. So that's just resolved. When I am forced to speak with her, we just are cordial. I'm nice, I'm polite, I slap a smile on my face, and then I go on my way. I don't give her any information, no inside info, no opinions. She certainly doesn't like opinions, so I don't give opinions. And I'm just done. I just walk away. So that worked out. So it's completely changed how I am now at home. So now when I come home, it still took me about 24 hours to ground, because it's like coming out, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, I don't know, it's like coming up from maybe the bottom of a coal mine or something, and you've been in a different world for 3 days. And then when I come up and I'm outside and I'm back out in the sunshine of my home, it takes me 24 hours to reacclimate to my home and to ground myself. I literally have to ground myself back here on my home on Claiborne, because I'm just that socially awkward. You give me anything and I can deal with it, and I can figure it out. Any kind of challenge, I'll gladly tackle it. If you put me in front of 10,000 people and I have to give a speech, I could do that. But you put me in a room with 15 other people and I freeze. I freeze. Even 4 other people, I can maybe joke my way through or tease my way through or sort of giggle my way through, but if I can't make a connection with somebody, I can't fake it till I make it. I cannot. I suck at that. I suck at that. But if I find that we have something in common, I'm all over. So, I feel like I learned something. I feel like I gained a little pearl of wisdom. I learned how, like, when the chips are really down and you have to have something, where there's a will, there's a way, and you will get through it. And if you're ever going through that and you're just so miserable at work, or somebody at work is making you so miserable, or something, something you have to endure with that is just awful, where there's a will to get through it, you will get through it. You will figure it out. The answer will come to you. And another thing I want to say is that I do like oracle card readings, and so I did my oracle cards, and the same card kept coming up. Pretty much like some people, like if you hear a certain saying several times, or if you dream a certain dream. Well, with me, it was this card in my oracle deck kept coming up, and it was Dueling Dragons. And Dueling Dragons means when you have two opposing forces, you have two dragons that are fighting. The dragon you feed is the one that wins the duel. And so that's how I knew, like, I was feeding the wrong dragon by all this turmoil I was feeling at work, and I was ignoring what I needed to be paying attention to here at home, which is my very ill husband and my home that needs my attention. So I have to take myself out of that situation. I can't feed that dragon. I have to feed my domestic dragon right here at home. This is the dragon I want to feed. And I do have a mentor, and she's helped me, like, keep business, you know, and business ideas and business thought processes in my mind. And I suggest to anybody, you know, that wants to kind of get ahead in life, that you do seek out a mentor. She has really helped me through some rough spots. She really does. She's just so encouraging every day. And she mentors me. And I do want to start a business right here at home, so I don't have to go to work, you know what I mean? So yeah, I strongly suggest that you get a mentor. I also suggest that if you're struggling with something, that you try and distract yourself by learning something new. Right now I'm very distracted with my lilies out here. I've shown several videos on the lilies, and I know that you can tell my excitement when I'm talking about these lilies. They're just so amazing. I mean, I always loved gardenia when I lived in the South, and I can't have gardenia up here in my growing zone 6B, but I can grow these incredible lilies up here, and the scent is wonderful, and it hangs heavy in the air at night and even during the day, kind of like a gardenia. And I kind of want to master that, you know what I mean? Like, I want to master growing lilies. They thrive out here in my poor soil, and they're an exquisite flower, and I'd like to get really good at it and have several varieties growing out there, several beds of lilies. I'd like to master lilies. So y'all, so what I feel like I did was I kind of earned a pearl. I was a women's council of one, and counseled myself. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of soul searching. I did some praying, meditating, and figured out how to solve my problem. I also got a better look at the bigger picture, you know. The bigger picture is I'm needed here at home. I have to focus on home. I have to feed this dragon, not that dragon. So that was good. So I feel like I kind of earned that little pearl of wisdom, you know, they say pearl of wisdom. And another thing, I did learn another lesson, and this is coming from several places actually recently, but I learned that sharing your little pearls of wisdom, or your anecdotes, or your stories, or your testimony with people who don't appreciate them, it does something crushing to your soul. When you're exuberant about something and you go to share it with somebody and you think they're going to appreciate it, when they might say 3 words back, or they say something back that you weren't at all anticipating, like they're not going to carry on their end of the conversation, they're just whatever. They just go on. They either shut you down, or they use your words against you, or whatever. And you feel pretty crushed, or at least I do, when I share something with somebody and they don't appreciate it. I know not to do that. I learned not to do that. So I was really curious, and there is a saying in the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible that says, do not throw your pearls to swine. And I thought, wow, what does that? I heard Jordan Peterson use that too. And I thought, wow, what does that mean? Don't throw your pearls to swine. Don't share those things with people who aren't going to appreciate it. It's not to say that they might not appreciate it at a later time. It just might not be their time to hear it or whatever. But don't throw your pearls to swine. So I thought, wow, that's good. I'm gonna keep my pearls close to my chest. I'm gonna clutch my pearls. So I'm going to start keeping things more to myself at work. That oh my goodness, I can't begin to tell you what that's like, to tell somebody something and then it goes all the way around work, and then by the time it gets back to you again, you're thinking, first of all, how do you know that? And secondly, you have it completely wrong. You know, you just I feel like I get these little betrayals all the time. And so I've learned to just stop doing that. I've just stopped doing that. And instead, when somebody comes up and asks me something now, I've learned to say this. You can feel free to use it if you need to. But instead of blurting out information, which is just a naive, normal way for me to be, because I'm just like, la la la, everybody's nice. I never have my armor on. I need to wear my armor. I need to have it fully prepared to go out to battle, to work. But instead of just blurting out information, just say, wow, that's a really interesting question. Why do you ask? Y'all, I never thought about saying that my whole life. I never felt like I ever had to say that ever in my whole life. But you do. You have to say things like that. Wow, that's an interesting question. Why do you ask that? And then when they say, well, I'm just curious, then you can always say, well, you first. You go first. And then let them talk to you. And you can still not say anything. And before you know it, the break's over and you never gave up any information and you didn't come across as rude. So that's another little pearl I earned. So yeah, so I'm liking these little pearls of wisdom. And the reason why I'm tossing these little pearls out on YouTube tonight is because I had to learn all this from myself, kind of like the hard way. Like I've never, like, oh my goodness, you know, I've never realized what social awkwardness I have until I've been out of the work loop for 5 years. And wow. And especially, I guess, maybe small town. I don't know. I feel like in the city, maybe I wouldn't stand out quite as much, but I am kind of a new age person, I suppose you'd say. And like I'm fixing to go to Renfest, and I don't think anybody here would even know what a Renfest is. They know what a festival is, but they would be like more like a pie festival or a peach or a strawberry festival or a car show or something along those lines, or a 4th of July. But a Renaissance festival, they'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, but how many of them have actually been or would even be interested in going? How many know what cosplay is? Those are things that interest me. Fairies, whimsical stuff. All these things interest me. I don't think they'd interest a single person that I work with. I really don't have anything in common with this group of people. Nothing, except where we live. That's the only thing we have in common. So yeah, it's been awkward to say the least, but I feel like I've got my little pearls of wisdom. I feel like I'm doing better. And I gotta tell you, wandering through those yin energy garden out there, it grounds me, it centers me, it brings me back to this energy that I know I can conquer anything and everything that's put in front of me. And I do. And so I hope, by me vlogging all this out here, I hope if somebody else has had some issues kind of like this, that that maybe you'll glean something from this. So if you're wondering what I was smoking tonight was pop cones and tropical mango, made by artisans, hand rolled by artisans, made in India. Those are quite tasty. You pop it, and then when you're smoking your ganja, it tastes like mango. All right, guys, I'm gonna duck out and get ready to go next door and go to bed. And I'm wishing you all love and light. Many blessings.